Alright, so we have our Flux architecture in place as far as the files and importing what we need. Now what we're going to do is set up the search form. Alright, so that's going to be in its own component. So in the components folder, let's create a new file and we're going to save it as SearchForm.js. Okay, and let's just copy what we have in our app component just to get the structure of the file down. Alright, so we want to include these same things, and then this we're going to change to search form, and we want to export the search form. Alright, and let's see, in the render, let's go ahead and take this div and give it a class name. Okay, remember React, you can't use the class attribute when you're dealing with JSX in React. You need to use class name. Alright, so we're going to call this search form. And then let's put in an H1, and I'm going to give this a class name of text center. Okay, and we'll just say search for a movie. Okay, and then we'll have our form. Okay, so our form will have a div, whoops, give it a class name of form group, which is a bootstrap class. Okay, then we're going to have our input. It's going to have a type of text, and let's give it a class name of form control. And we're going to give this a ref attribute. That's how we're going to be able to grab it on submission. That's going to be title, placeholder, let's say enter a movie title. Okay, and we need to end that. We need to include the slash as well, or you'll get an error. So that's the input, and then let's see, under that we want the button. Okay, so we're going to say button, and let's give it a class name of BTN, BTN primary, and also BTN block. Okay, and we'll just say search movies. Alright, so let's save that, and in order for that to show up we have to put it in our app component. So I'm just going to go right here and say search form. Okay, we need to make sure that we include it up here as well. So search form. Okay, that's going to be in / search form. Actually, SearchForm.js. So let's go ahead and save that. Okay, that didn't update. Oh, we gotta run gulp again. Alright, so it looks like something is going on. Cannot find module appapi.js. Okay, where is that supposed to be coming from? Utils. Oh, that has to go out. So this right here, this is the stores, the app store file. That should be .. Let me see if I have that anywhere else. Alright, let's see if that was the issue. Did I save it? It should be saying my app. It's kind of weird. Oh, there we go. Okay. So it just didn't compile yet. Alright, so search for a movie. We have our input box here. Now, we're not getting our Bootstrap CSS for some reason. Let's do a Control U. And let's see if we click on this Bootstrap. Okay, so that's being loaded. Oh, you know what? We didn't add the rel attribute on the style sheet tags. So let's go to our index, and right here, let's add rel equals style sheet. All right, let's try that again. There we go. All right. Now I want to narrow this quite a bit, so we're going to actually edit the index HTML. Okay, we're going to do a couple things here as far as Bootstrap. So we're going to add a class name called container. Oh, actually, we're not in a component, so I can use class. Okay, container, and then we're going to add a row class. Alright, and let's add a column div. So we're going to say class call md8, and then we also want to offset it so that it's in the middle. So call md offset 2. Okay, we'll clean that up a little bit. Alright, so let's check that out. Alright, good. Now I'm going to add just a little bit of CSS. So we're going to go to our style.css file. And let's push the body down a little bit. So margin top, and we'll set that to 30 pixels. Alright, and then we want our search form. Okay, I'm going to set width to 100%. Let's set margin auto. I'm going to give it a light gray background. And we'll give it a little padding. I want 20 pixels everywhere except the top. Okay, we'll give it a border of 1 pixel gray and solid. And let's give it a border radius of 10 pixels. Alright, so there's our search form. So when we submit this, we want a few things to happen. We're going to want to send an action, but before that, we need to actually create an event inside of our component. Alright, so in our form tag right here, we're going to add an attribute called onSubmit. Alright, and we're going to set that equal to a method. So this dot onSubmit. Alright, and then down here we want to go under the render and say onSubmit, which is a function. Okay, we're going to pass in an e, and then we're going to say e.preventDefault to prevent the default action from happening. And then what we're going to do is let's see if we can grab the input. Alright, so I'm just going to do a console.log, and we should be able to say this.refs.title.value. Okay, that should give us the value of the text. So let's reload. And whoop, what happened to the CSS? Okay, what happened to the background? That's kind of weird. Huh. Let me take that away, see if that does anything. It's like it's not reading the style, the style.css for some reason. Okay. Whoa. Oh. I put that in the dist folder CSS. That's not right. Alright, so I'm going to copy that and then close that up, and that's the wrong one. So we need to go to this one. Paste that in, and then that should fix it, hopefully. Yep. Alright, so where were we? So we're going to just type in test, and then down here you can see that we're getting test. So that's what we want. Alright, now what we want to do is we want to create an object, a movie object with the title. So let's get rid of, let's just copy this and then get rid of that. And what we're going to do is create a movie object, and it's just going to have a title. Okay, and then we're going to get that, and we're even going to add on trim on the end of it like that. Okay, so now we have this movie object. What we need to do now is we need to create an event to search for this movie. Okay, so what we're going to do is say app actions. Okay, this is where we're going to start to get into Flux, because all of this stuff is all just React, and we've already been there and done that. Alright, so we want to say app actions dot search movies. Okay, of course you could call it whatever you'd like, and then we're going to pass in that movie. Alright, so we'll save that, and now what we're going to do is go into our actions file. Okay, we have that pretty much set up. We just need to create the search movies action. So let's go right here, and we'll say search movies function. Okay, that's going to take in that movie. Okay, and we're going to use the dispatcher, so app dispatcher dot, and we're going to say handle view action. Okay, and then we're going to pass in our action type, and that's where we can use the constants file. So you can see how these all link together, all these files. And we're going to want the search underscore movies constant, and then we just want to pass along the movie, okay, which comes from here. And just to make sure that we're actually calling this action, let's just do a console.log, and we'll just say searching for movie, and then we can actually concatenate on movie.title. Alright, so let's go ahead and reload, and let's just put something in here. We'll say test and search, and then down here you can see searching for movie test. So we know that we're at least getting to this point. We're at least calling this action. So I'm going to stop the video here. We have the actual component showing, and we can submit a movie. In the next video we're going to make it so that once we submit the movie, we can actually bring it to our API file and make the AJAX request. Alright, so we'll get into that next.